Hello, my friends. We are almost done here in New York City, but what better way to start closing out the show than with For Honor? I am joined by Luke from Ubisoft Montreal. Hello, sir.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for joining me.
My pleasure.
It was fun to chat with you, but now we can really get to the good stuff.
Yes.
Because we were talking about For Honor, which we showed off during the conference running on the PlayStation 4 Pro hardware. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of the game, tell me a little bit about how your team is using the PS4 Pro and kind of what it means to that game.
For us, what it means is extra power. And this extra power will allow us to display more details on the character, on the environment. For example, on this footage right now, it's all the environment. You can see the reflection on the ground. It's much more detailed. A little bit after, you'll see the foliage, the vegetations. So we can get more detail, and that's the thing I was talking about the vegetations. You can see more details on the image. So that's where we're pushing the limit, and we're pushing the graphic power of the PS4 Pro.
And not just in the environment, but also in character models.
Exactly, also in the character, that's a good point.
Yeah.
In terms of all their texture, because we have a lot of different materials in the character.
Yeah.
Having Knight, Viking, and Samurai, it brings different flavors. So the leathers, the armor of the warriors, for example, the Raider right now. You can see the definition on the armor, the Kensei, same thing. So that's where we're trying to push to have this extra level of immersion.
Okay, now, of course, PS4 Pro hardware is awesome, but we need those games. And For Honor, looking great. Tell me a little bit about what you guys set out to do with this sort of melee combat.
Our objective with For Honor is to bring people to live the experience of a dangerous battlefield with legendary warriors. So that's why we have the Knight, the Viking, and the Samurai. So that's the experience we want to bring. And for that, we decided to use the Knight, Viking, and Samurai, the three maybe most famous warriors out there. And also we developed a new mechanic for combat, which is the Art of Battle.
Tell me about it.
Yeah,
perfect transition.
It's almost if we rehearsed it.
I know. It's almost like we talked about it before.
Exactly.
Who knew?
The Art of Battle, it's a way for us to make you really feel your sword in your hand. So when you fight, depending on how you position your guard, it will impact how you block and how you attack. And one key thing in For Honor is a lot of games in melee action, it's about hitting, and it's as fast as you can. In For Honor, yes, of course, you need to hit your enemy, but it's about blocking also. Because any martial arts, one of the first things they will teach you is how to block an incoming attack. So in For Honor, that's very, very key. How you will block the attack and then take the advantage to hit your enemy. So the Art of Battle allows us to do that, and that's really, really working very well.
Now, that's, of course, there's going to be some familiar aspects to For Honor for people to play a lot of third-person action games. But as you say, the Art of Battle kind of lends a unique twist to the experience. How do you guys kind of train the players? This is a new skill set that people need to develop, right? What's it like developing that training system?
The training system is good because we've ran so far. We've been in a lot of different events. So last year at E3, this year at E3, Gamescom, both of them. PlayStation Experience in December of last year.
You guys are everywhere.
So yeah,
and it's always you, I bet.
I've been in most of those events, I must say. So having people play the game, we develop a tutorial, so a practice mode, so we can see how people get their hands on the game. We've done 2 live periods so far. So one in October of last year, we did a technical test 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
So it's a way for us to really see how people can, their onboarding process, how they will learn to play. And it's quite impressive. I must say, one anecdote. In the technical test.
Share 2. You can share 3. I don't care. Share as many anecdotes as you want.
In the technical test we had 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks. There was one guy, one of our devs was playing during lunchtime with a player, an external player, and he got his kick so bad. And the guy's been playing the game for 4 days. We've been playing it for 3 to 4 years. So we brought one more guy in, paff, out. We got one more in, paff, out. So we had to go to get one of our dev testers, one of the best player, and he came in and he managed to finally beat the guy. So within a very short period of time, our players managed to go very high in skills. So that's very impressive. So the onboarding process works, but it's a new system. So give yourself a couple of minutes to get it.
Loosened up.
Exactly.
Stretching.
But once you get it, that's where the fun really will peak.
And what do you think it is about sort of that melee combat that makes For Honor such a unique experience?
I think the intimate aspect of the battle. Yes, the combat system, as I talked about, the art of battle is playing a big role into that. That's for one. Two, the warriors we have, like Night Viking and
Which
Samurai.
we need to talk about. We'll circle back to that.
Yeah, they're really, really cool. And the intimacy of the combat when you're in a duel, that's where you want to live that moment of being like mano to mano. It's okay, let's get this done.
Yeah.
So
tell me a little bit about the factions then, because you guys brought in some heavy hitters here.
Yes, Night Viking and Samurai.
Literally, I guess.
Sorry?
Literally, they're heavy hitters.
Exactly. So you see, that's the duel I was talking about before. So when you're in that duel, it's really, really fun. So yeah, so Night Viking and Samurai, they're probably the most popular warriors of all time. There are a lot of different warriors, but Night Viking and Samurai, and I'm just curious, what are you, a Knight, a Viking, or a Samurai?
You can't put me on the spot like that, Luke.
Sorry.
I can't just choose a favorite. I barely played the game, and I have to pick. I feel like, okay, I'm kind of a big Game of Thrones fan, so maybe I feel like I pick Knight.
Okay, that's
Is that
good.
fair?
Yeah, it's
okay.
fair. So we have those three factions, and in all of the faction, we have 4 different warriors per faction. So we have those 12 warriors, all different weapon set, different animation set, different customization and progression. So all of them are extremely deep to learn and play. And that's a great thing about the game is once you go from one to another, yes, the basic gameplay mechanics are the same, but you need also to know how the Raider is fighting versus the Orochi. Because one is an assassin, so super quick. The other one is a vanguard, so a balanced offense and defense. So that's how we bring our factions, and also in the world. Because in the footage we saw today, we saw the environment from Citadel Gate, which is a Knight map, but also from Overwatch map, which is a Samurai one. So we have Knight, Viking, and Samurai environment. Like this one is a Knight map. So
beautiful.
So that's why that's how all the factions will live in For Honor.
So before we wrap up, I do kind of want to talk a little bit about the modes that you guys have, because there's a lot of stuff you guys are putting in this game. You're telling me that there is like a single-player campaign, and of course multiplayer is a core element. Can you tell us a little bit about the different modes?
Yes, obviously. We have the story campaign. So in the story campaign, you will live this tale through Knight, Viking, and Samurai. So all of them. At E3 this year, we revealed our story campaign with Apollyon, the villain, who's a
devious.
A bit evil in the background.
Just a bit.
And the game modes, we have 5 different game modes. We have Duel, 1v1. We have Brawl, it's 2v2. We have Skirmish, Elimination, both are 4v4. One is a team last man standing or team deathmatch. And we have Dominion. Dominion is the game mode that we are showing today, that we showed in the event so far. It's an objective-based mode in which you need to control areas to capture points, to score points, kill your enemies. And once you go over the 1,000-point threshold, your enemies won't respawn anymore. So you need to track them and kill them to win the match.
This sounds very violent, sir. There's some violence going on in this game. Some action.
We're in a battlefield. It's a battlefield with legendary warriors, with the 2-axis guy, with the Dachi. So yeah, it's pretty intense.
Yeah. So before we go, tell me a little bit about we're here in New York City, revealing the PlayStation 4 Pro. What's a highlight for you? What do you think is something that kind of resonates with you and gets you fired up for the future of the PlayStation platform?
But I think for us, it's being able to deliver a deeper experience, a more beautiful experience. So people, when they come into our world, the immersion will just reach a new level. So for us, it's great. I think being immersed in that beautiful and fantastic world, in this great world, is something that players will really, really like.
Awesome. Well, Luke, thank you so much for being here with us. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We have a little bit more before we go here in New York City, so do not go anywhere. Stay with us.
PlayStation